Welcome back to AM Northwest. Making career change decisions can be one of the most stressful decisions you'll make. Here to share 3 key ways to regret-proof your next move, we welcome back career strategist and personal brand expert, Dr. Carol Parker Walsh. Hi, doctor. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Let's talk about this because sometimes people can really stress themselves out. You say one of the first things is to get clear on what you want, what you don't want. Get clear on what you don't want.
Exactly. You know, it's been interesting that the great resignation for a lot of people have turned into the great regret.
Yeah.
Because people think the grass is greener on the other side. And, you know, what happens is people are so focused on what they do want, like their salary and the job itself, that they forget all the little things that they actually don't like. And they think the assumption is that, well, when I get in there, we can make the adjustments or the employer will do, you know, whatever they need to do to accommodate you. But those little things can really add up to a lot of big things. So you want to be really clear about the things that you really don't want to do. So you're not just distracted by shiny object syndrome, which is the salary or the title, because no amount of money can really make up for you not being happy or satisfied in a job that you took, which is why a lot of people are trying to leap back to where they were before, because that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, I had a friend get a new job because of the salary, that kind of thing, and then the culture in her new company, she is just now despising. It's just awful. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah. And that's another one too, you know, understanding your values.
Right.
Because if you don't know what your values are, you can absolutely go into an organizational culture and thinking that, you know, you may have had a great conversation with the hiring manager or with, you know, the HR person, whoever it was you were working with to transition over to the position. But once you get into the organization, it may not really be a good fit. How they work, how they do their work, you know, just the organizational culture itself may not fit. And because a lot of people were doing hiring virtually, they didn't have an opportunity to go into the workplace and kind of get a feel or sense of it. So now they're coming into the workplace, or they're actually working with more people and realize that I'm not really comfortable here. This really isn't a great fit for who I am and what I value and what's important to me.
You say it's important to know what you have to offer.
Yes, absolutely know what you have to offer. You know, it's really important that, you know, part of the reason, this is the thing I always talk about with my clients, is that you want to make sure that the work that you're doing, at least 80% of the time, is operating in your zone of genius. And what I mean by that is not only work that you do well, but work that you love to do, right? And so you have to really watch out for those other duties as assigned.
Yeah.
Or trying to fit yourself into a role that you're looking at the job description. And again, because you're distracted by shiny object syndrome, like the salary, you just assume that, well, you know, a lot of what I do will be here, or you hope just because one line of the job description says this is what you can do, and you're thinking, oh, I'll spend a lot of my time doing that, and you get in there and realize only maybe 10 or 20% of your job is actually the work that you're really good at and the work that you really love. So know really clear what your zone of genius is, so when you're looking at job descriptions and you're examining those new positions, you can be clear that you're going to be operating at least 80% of the time in work that you absolutely love and are amazing at doing.
In some of these situations, is it that you need to ask the right questions when you're being interviewed for the job? You need to be interviewing them as well?
Well, absolutely. But you have to first know what you want so you can ask the good questions. I always tell people an interview is not a one-way street. It is it's like a date. You wouldn't just show up at a date and just let the person ask you questions and think, okay, this seems to work.
Yeah.
I think you would ask a few questions as well. And so this is a relationship that you're entering into. So you want to do your due diligence, and you want to be really clear about whether or not there's compatibility before you step into something. So absolutely, you need to be interviewing that place as much as they're interviewing you, but you want to know what it is that you want, what you don't want, and what you have to offer, and your value system, so you know how to ask the right questions to get the right answers for yourself.
And you say, no, you need to know how it's aligned to your life, like how your new role and your current lifestyle work within that.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you've gotten used to working remotely and you're interviewing and they tell you, well, this isn't a remote position, but, you know, we do offer you opportunity to work remotely on occasion, and then you get in there and the occasion never arises.
Yeah.
To work remotely, then everything shifts, you know, so you may have made some adjustments to how you work, particularly through the pandemic. Like you may have figured out that for your lifestyle to really sing smoothly, you need a work schedule that's going to accommodate that. And that's why I talk a lot about career life alignment instead of work life balance, because balance is a give or take. But when you're doing something that's aligned to the greater ecosystem of your life, then you can be happy with the work that you're doing and knowing that you can show up and be available and do a great job and not be stressed out about what's happening in your home life.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure whatever you're getting into is aligned to your lifestyle, to what's necessary in your home life, to the availability you need to have for your kids or their schedules or for your spouse or whatever's going on for you. You want to be clear about making sure that this position is going to be aligned with that.
Absolutely. All makes sense. Dr. Carol Parker Walsh, thank you so much.
You're welcome.